Hi, this is David with EV World News, electric vehicles, green energy, and this got my special guest, Pro Trader Mike, in the house with us today. Let's go.
Good. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you, GM.
All right. Well, first of all, the first article I wanted to talk about today comes from a website called The Conversation. This one is kind of interesting, and I really didn't know this, but the world has 280 million electric bikes and mopeds, and they cut the demand for oil far more than electric cars. Now, we don't see this here in the United States so much, but it's really popular throughout the third world.
Hmm.
Close to half of all Australian commuter trips are by car, and in wealthier countries like the United States, 60% of car trips are less than 10 kilometers or about 6 miles. The best solution would be, an EV, but for short trips, an electric bike or moped might be better for you. But what's amazing, and this is kind of interesting, you would never see this here in the US, but at the moment, let's see, we, like this picture here, they got three people on the electric scooter. I mean, that you would never see something like
Yeah,
that
you,
here
you
in
get
the
pulled
US.
out. You getting pulled over, and yeah, you'd be
Yeah,
in trouble by
you
doing
get a
that.
ticket for that here in the US, right?
Yeah.
And on the world's roads, there were 20 million electric vehicles and 1.3 million commercial electric vehicles. That's a big number too. I didn't realize there were that many electric buses, delivery vans, and trucks worldwide. That's starting to be a pretty
That's a
big
big
number.
number. Yeah, that's a huge
Yeah,
number.
but there's 280 million electric mopeds, scooters, motorcycles, and three-wheelers last year on the road. And this cuts into oil by about a million barrels of oil a day, about 1% of the world's total oil demand. And it's interesting. It's having some
Yeah,
effect.
because those people have it. You really don't need a car if you're only going to be going a couple miles here and there, and you know, we're
One
we're
thing.
privileged over here.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, one thing too. All oil demand isn't for burning it for fuel. A lot of it's for making roads and other things like that. A lot of uses for the oil that gets pumped out of the ground, but it's just that the majority use is as fuel. Anyways,
Hmm.
but it's just hard to fathom. Could you imagine if we were in a country where everybody was riding around on electric bikes? I mean, it'd be hard to just see that in
Remember
some
that
parts.
one that EV stock that no one really heard of? Symbol was EVLV. Take a look at that one. Remember
All
that
right.
one? Evolve.
Let's
What does that company do?
see.
EVLV.
I've heard of them.
What do they do?
I'm looking.
Because it's been rising every day. I've been waiting for the show to be like, I'm going to tell Dave about the EVLV because it's an electric car company called Evolve Technologies Holdings.
Looking to see if I can find what they
Eric Victor, Love Victor.
see if we can find a little information on this one.
What do you see?
Manufacture and development of security screening products provides artificial intelligence-based security screening solutions for industries including casinos, industrial workplaces, schools, and ticketed venues. Founded by Anil Chitkara and Michael Ellenbogen in 2013.
I don't know why I had it as my on my EV list though. They have it as an EV stock. It's crazy.
EVLV.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it should be. It's an electric equipment.
Yeah, it's EV. It starts with EV. It says, yeah, provides AI-based touchless security screening system that offers weapons detection, identity verification. So it's in the security software industry. I had picked it at 381 and
Where
it's at
is it sitting today?
425.
Nice, nice. When did it make the move?
It's been moving in the last 2 days, so keep an eye on that.
Good, good.
EVLV.
Is that
And
one that would work for doing options trading?
no.
No, no volume for that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. anyways, our next topic we're going to talk about is the new Lucid SUV coming to market. And
Ooh.
and this should be pretty sharp. And I've talked a little bit before where I felt that Lucid made a mistake by only coming in with really high priced sedans, but they're coming in with the Lucid Gravity SUV, and it's going to have big range, but supposed to only have half the battery size of mainstream car makers. And this must have to do with the weight of the vehicle, obviously. But let's see, the new Gravity SUV aimed at the center of the EV SUV segment. And it's got this thing called a 900-volt EV architecture, a more powerful version of their compact motor. Supposedly, they have the most power-dense electric motors on sale by any company today. Now, they haven't given any specifics about the powertrain layout, but they'll most likely be rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models. And they are saying it'll do 0 to 60 in 3.5. That's that's
It's
moving.
pretty fast. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the car that lost $277,000 per car or something like that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's the Lucid Air.
How's that
So
possible?
so that's taking into account all the infrastructure spending, everything that they spent in a year versus how many cars they sold. And it just
Okay.
it sounds like a crazy net loss, but it depends on how you measure the metric, because a lot of those costs are one-time costs that they won't, they're not going to keep having those costs every time they make a car. Those were, sunk costs into facilities.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so it was an interesting number, but I mean, you
I
can
didn't even
always
think it was
manipulate data.
real. I
No,
didn't even think it was real.
it was a real number. It was
Like,
a
how
real
can
number.
they lose $277,000 per car?
Well, what was funny was Elon quoted said on Twitter, he said that maybe they could make it up on volume.
He said that? It's
He
funny.
did. He did. Yeah, that was like a week or so ago. It was pretty funny. Any,
Awesome.
anyways, the back to the Lucid Gravity. So they're claiming a 112 kilowatt pack as seeming as what's likely, but versus a Hummer EV or Escalade IQ, which will have a 200 kilowatt hour battery. So it's, 55% of the size, but they're saying it'll get 440 miles per charge, which is about 4 miles per kilowatt hour of battery. Now, what's interesting about this, their 900-volt architecture will allow you to add 200 miles of range at a level 3 charger in 15 minutes, which would be really quick. That's really quick. And I mean,
That is a quick charge.
realistically, 200 miles of range is pretty good to get on to the next charging station, because that gives you
Mhm.
2.5 hours of driving or whatever, and it's, you know, comfortable distance. But I find that pretty interesting. It's got a very slim drag coefficient. It says class leading coefficient of drag of less than 0.243. That it looks somewhere between a Kia EV6 GT and a Toyota Sienna. Not, it doesn't look ugly. Let's see if we click the view more photographs, see what we get here. Well, oh, here we go. If I can make that any bigger. No. Oh God. Got a little too large with that, didn't I? All right, let's see what we get here. I mean, it's nice looking there with that trailer behind it. I'd imagine though towing that trailer really hurt the range, but obviously it's real nice looking car.
I like it.
You know, I'm sure that'll be a winner for them, and you know, it's got a cool looking front layout. Everything about it's pretty awesome looking.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Looks
um,
good.
let's see what else we got today. Oh, now here's something else. So Lexus is coming in with a 2026. I mean, this we're talking a bit out there, and
Mhm.
this is a Lexus. they're calling it the LF-ZC. I'm sure they must come up with a different name than that when they come, because
Where's the
that's,
picture? What does that look like?
let's see here. Looks pretty futuristic.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
hot.
And you know, with it being a Lexus, it's going to be really elegant and well built
Hmm.
inside.
Hmm.
Now, I'm sure this won't be targeting a $40,000 Tesla, but Lexus is making claims that it could have a 622-mile range and charging from 10 to 80% in 20 minutes. That technology probably will exist by 2026. I mean, everything's kind of heading that way. Battery tech keeps getting better and better. The They don't have a lot of details on how Lexus pulls off those driving specs other than improved energy density thanks to the battery pack configuration. It's touted as having great aerodynamics and an attribute maybe a bit undervalued when talking EV performance. Let me see. I've got another page here that's got some interior looks on the electrified LF
Wow, look at that
series.
car. That's crazy looking.
Yeah, in Europe, and this is coming from Lexus in Europe. I mean, it's sharp looks, you know, cockpit looking interior.
Yeah, really futuristic.
Yeah, it's nice to see Toyota's got, something going there. Anyways, I thought that was pretty nice looking for something for a Toyota product. Obviously.
Tesla's even today at $234 per share. It's flat, not up or down.
So, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking because that article was saying we could see Tesla drop below $100, and it was about 194 then, and now look where it's at now.
234. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Elon Musk is sort of unshakable. You
It's
could keep.
crazy how the markets are have no effect on what's going on in the outside world. The Nasdaq's at a new high. The markets are at. It's just crazy what's really going on. But
So, my question for you: what is your theory on why Nasdaq's gone up so much recently? I mean, interest rates are high,
every,
inflation is starting to slow down.
some of these companies with the earnings, the big ones, haven't gotten crushed. They've held up the market, like Microsoft and Amazon and these other ones. They've held their own.
Nice,
So the people
nice.
that were betting for it to go down, it didn't go down, so they had to cover, and the sellers weren't there to sell because it didn't go down. So there was only buyers and short coverers in the last little bit.
Well,
That's why I think it went up. Yeah,
it's interesting to see that because it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And I look, it's funny how Bitcoin and Ethereum
are
seem to be tied
rocking.
to the Nasdaq as well, and they shouldn't be, right?
They're rocking. Like I saw a tweet. What do you think in 2024 is the place to put your is going to be the most greatest? The dollar, gold, and then Bitcoin was one of them. And then, like every response was Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. So it was surprising to see how everybody is,
Coming out of
uh,
the closet.
yeah, and confident about digital currency and shit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody's talking about crypto again,
yeah.
whereas
All
it
of a
was
sudden,
it was taboo for about a year and a half.
yeah, yeah.
And it just like, I had people even say, "Hey, stop calling our tech crypto. Just call it blockchain." And,
Mhm.
and nobody, now everybody's cool with crypto again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really a good
Bitcoin is
scene.
at right now. Bitcoin's 37,515. Ethereum is 2,051. And Dogecoin is 0.08. Speaking of Elon, you're going to be able to buy gas and electric with Doge.
Nice. How low did Bitcoin get a year and a half ago? Didn't it get down to like $11,000?
No, I think it went back towards like 17 or 18,000 or something like that.
That's the low. Okay.
Yeah.
It just, it's funny how much it's come back. Now, what was
Yeah,
it? It was,
Ethereum went like 1,200. It's now, so it's gone up 100%.
You know, what was it? Bitcoin was at 60,000 before it plummeted.
Yep, it plummeted to 3,000.
No, Bitcoin.
I was a miner then, yeah. I was a Bitcoin miner then.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was
Uh,
bad. Bitcoin needed to go back to 9,000 for the miners to be profitable. So months went by. It went 3,000 to 4,000, back to 3,000 to 2,500, back to 3,000, back to 4,000, back, and every month the electric bill was because there was no money to be made until it went to 9,000. So you're just paying electric bill and losing money every month. You're like, when is it going to go back? So there was people that were I was following online. That was my mentors. They were pulling the plug on their operations, saying,
mhm.
forget it. I'm going to just sell everything and take what I can. I'm like, no, I'm going to hold on. So I held on and I held on, and then they were all gone. I'm like, dude, forget it. This is just Bitcoin's at 3,000. It's never going to go back up. So I cashed out, and 3 months later, it went to 60,000.
Isn't that crazy?
Zen coin went to $70 from like 00 a penny. I had a million Zen. Raven coin went to 22 cents. I had 10 billion Raven coin.
And you had sold them all.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. 3 months later, it was at those prices. It was the biggest kick in the head. It was the biggest kick I've ever had, ever.
Pick your anatomical location.
Yeah, it kicked me across the fucking, Hulk. It hulked
Oh
me,
my
dude.
God. Oh
Hulk
my
smash.
God.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had 20 billion coins, and it went to 22 cents.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I don't mean to laugh. That's
It's
just
fucking nuts, dude. I had a
it is.
million Zen went to $70 in a week. Went to 70 in a week. That was 70 million right there. Yeah.
Oh my.
One time in my crypto account, Coinbase, the tracking of all the coins, like everything went up to 50,000 a coin. My portfolio was worth $20 billion, and I would try to cash out. I was screenshotting it. I was like, I'm never gonna refresh the page. And like a half hour later, I refreshed it, and it went back to like the normal nothing and shit. But it was for like a moment, I was worth 20 billion. There was a day when crypto went nuts, but it wasn't real. And
Oh,
yeah, but
nice.
yeah, it happens in the past. It'll happen again. Those kind of things are pretty crazy. But yeah,
Wow, that's nuts. That's
yeah.
nuts, dude. All right.
All
Well,
right,
anyways,
boys.
gonna go ahead and end the stream.